Hi friends, today I want to talk about what I learned by reading about the Turakhia brothers. The Turakhia brothers are known as founders of Media.net and Directi. They sold Media.net for $900 million to a Chinese consortium. Here are the things that I learned from their story. The first thing is there's never a right time. You make it right. By the age of 9, Divyank was developing computer games. At 13, he was selling computer projects to other students within his school. He used to read a lot of business-related books and biographies too. And right now, I'm doing the same, although a lot of years later. Parallelly, I'm trying to share the same information with everyone through YouTube. When he was 14, he started freelance consulting for large corporates. Bhavin was 2 years elder to him. This was around the time when the internet was new in India. And it was a good opportunity to consult others on how to set up their website, build it for them too. They did this for about 2 years. He realized that to scale up, he would not be able to do it when it is proportional to the number of people or the number of working hours that are put in his company. There has to be some level of automation so that no matter if it's 10 customers or 10 million customers, the process is the same. But before we go into how this transformation suddenly happened, it's important to know the story of Bhavin Turakhia, his elder brother. Bhavin was interested in doing a business in computer science since the time he was in class 10. And he did spend 2 years studying for engineering, that's class 11 and 12, and he did really well. But by the time 12th grade came along, he had decided to give up on formal education. He was also reading a lot of business books, and those became a good source of validation. The main thing was he had faith in himself. Not only just the knowledge, but a faith in himself. The next lesson is it's you who decides whether you fail or not. The first company he started was Bits and PCs in 1996. His company was meant to assemble and sell computers. He would go door to door and sell computers. He didn't make much money, probably lost some. When the internet came in, he imagined that this would impact everything back then. So he decided that whatever he would do in computers now would be internet related. So he started the next company called Web Spinners. It would be related to building web apps and websites for clients. He learned HTML, CSS, Perl, CGI, and wrote applications for a bunch of people and ran this for quite some time. About 12 months were gone and it wasn't possible to scale this. He just made marginal amounts of money. To scale, there has to be some level of automation and standardization. So he started Directi in 1997. But it didn't just become successful in one go. He spent about a year and a half with no sign of success after starting Directi because he was trying to build a recruitment automation software where the software would read the resume and help automate recruitment. Recently, about a month back, a friend of mine called that he wanted to start a company in the same area where he would use AI to read resumes and tell the companies and the candidates and find the best match. He had thought of this idea in 1997, that's 20 years ago. Now, why did he get stuck then? His idea was ahead of its time. For making the intelligent engine, 0.5 million, 500,000 resumes were needed. And it was just 50,000 people on the internet at that time in India. He was too early into the market, and this resulted in a deadlock. As I said, failures are the pillars of success. Notice that by now it had been about 5 years of work experience for him. He was very young, but with loads of experience now. As I said, it's you who decides whether you fail or not. He decided that he wouldn't. He made a pivot. He bought servers and decided to sell hosting and domain related services. He borrowed 25,000 rupees from his father and bought a server from where he could sell hosting services. Now you see there is a level of standardization and automation. And then they moved on to selling domain related services, and this was the entry point to sell a lot of other services like email. So these businesses which he started then are still known today as Big Rock, LogicPok, etc. That's when they started to make profits and saw the first sight of success. He never thought small, he was always thinking big. Although his first office was in a terribly small space, he built up an automated invoicing system so that he could scale, and that is what I'm talking about back in the 90s. There were only the co-founders and 4 employees at that time. But the automated invoicing system was in place. They didn't have a lot of clients or a lot of calls, but there was also an automated support system that they built. In 2000-2001, they used to collect money through check and cash from people. They wanted to make this process fast as well, so they learnt about credit card payments. and not much later they wrote their first payment gateway. They didn't like to send a peon to someone's office and get a check. This not only helped them in getting faster payments, it also ended up becoming a product line of theirs which they called Transecute. With demonetization coming in India in late 2016, just imagine how ahead of the time they were when they built this payment gateway kind of a system in 2000-2001. They were so early into the market. Now you might be wondering, how did they get to imagine such good ideas? And by this you can understand the fourth point which I'm coming to, which is how to get good ideas. A startup isn't just a great idea that you can self-generate from your mind out of nothing. It's when you're working on something that you're able to see the roadblocks that are there in the industry, and that's when you're able to build a solution through your creativity, and that becomes a product. The fifth thing that I wanted to connect here, which he also said about in his speech at ISB, is the law of attraction. The law of attraction works in this way. Whether you think big or small, the universe is going to conspire and make it happen. The point I'm trying to get is, when you're imagining and setting yourself up for 1 million customers, that's when you begin to see those opportunities of reaching 1 million customers. If you're never thinking of it, those opportunities will stay invisible. It's all about one's perspective, what they notice in the world. But here's the second part. Things don't come for free in the law of attraction. Whatever you want to do, there'll always be hurdles, and it will require your creativity and effort. It's these hurdles which are the opportunities. It's these obstacles which you can create a service for everyone to overcome this obstacle, and that becomes a service. That's how you get your idea. The next point I want to come to is read or get mentors. Notice that both these brothers had a habit of reading. Right now, I'm also inculcating this habit. Although I'm reading from blogs as well as books, that time blogs weren't there so much. Their father was a major collector of books, and their home library was bigger than their school library. Their father used to spend every buck saved into books. Their access to capital was restricted, but their access to knowledge was not. Divyank says, choose something that you're really passionate about, because roadblocks will come. But if you're passionate, you'll always keep working towards finding new ways to do it. If you don't know what you really like doing, spend all of your time trying to find out what you really like to do. Once you find that out, the first few steps will be difficult, but then you will keep chasing that dream because you like it. Money can be lost through external factors, but knowledge, that will remain with you for the rest of your life. That's why he likes to give knowledge back to society. And that's what I am trying to do also. While I'm learning, I'm just giving back to people. One night wonder is just the tip of the iceberg. The main point is, because of experience of running BBS, they already knew more about the internet and networking than most of the other people when internet services were first launched in India in 1995. That's why they had such advanced ideas. Due to this knowledge about the internet, soon after, a big opportunity in domains opened up when the NSI monopoly in the registration business came to an end. The retail price of domains was as high as $70 for 2 years back then. In October 1999, domains were now available for just $13 a year. Domain names were the entry point to sell all web-related services: web hosting, dedicated servers, digital certificates, payment gateway solutions. Had they not known all about the internet and how services can be provided online, how could they have grabbed the opportunity? Had they not thought about automated invoicing or such services, how would they have grabbed everything so quickly? Even today, sometimes I have to explain to people what a domain is. They were into the domain industry more than 20 years ago. But on the other hand, if such an event of monopoly had not happened, do you think they would have still been able to scale this much? I think yes, because their knowledge wouldn't have been wasted. They could have stumbled upon some other problem and solved it. Today you can see they have over 11 businesses. So who knows?